Hi, everyone. Uh, Corey, my good friend Corey, asked me to send in a bit of a video. My name's Shane Briggs. I teach math at San Diego Mesa College. Um, yeah, I wanted to share a little bit about strategies I use to get students to, yeah, be themselves in class, right? That's, I think, what the discussion is about. Um, and present their ideas, right? Present their understandings, whatever they may be, so we can help in the learning process. So for me, like when I'm comfortable, I'm talking usually. So for the first thing, of course, I try to make the classroom comfortable. I guess physically, the chairs are there, but what I mean is the vibe. I try to make it structured but kind, um, fun, fair. I teach math, so I do try to liven it up a bit, right? Sometimes the discussion needs a bit of livening, but being comfortable is the first step for me. Uh, and then being interested in something. If I'm comfortable and I'm not interested in anything, I might just fall asleep, right? So I need to be comfortable, and then something needs to interest me, something. And then I'll at least stay awake, and then I might even start talking about that thing. So I try to relate my subject math to interests that the students have. So before the semester, and I realize it might be a different context at a different institution than a college, I survey the students before the semester to gauge their interests. Like what do they like doing? I'll try to incorporate, after reading those, I'll write applications involving those interests in the math. So if someone is a musician, um, we can do a lot of, you know, music related applications regarding frequency or um, tension, all sorts of things. If they're into surfing, if we can start talking about waves and trigonometry, um, you know, comfortable. And then something interesting needs to be going on. Um, what else? I have a list here. Challenges. Yeah, my own personal challenges. I happen to have gone to Mesa, the school I teach at. It's kind of a special case scenario, I realize. But that quickly humanizes me to the students once they learn, oh, you went here? Just some way of, you're a person, you're not just my professor who knows everything about math or something, right? It's humanizing yourself so that it's a safe place to express yourself. So I'll tell them, yeah, which is true. I did not finish high school myself. You might not want to tell your students that at a high school, but at a college, I do tell my students that, hey, I did not do well in school, and here's what worked for me eventually. Let me know if you're interested in all that. So I try to show them how human I am. There's a lot of humanness to explain. So I tell them about my weekend each week, each Monday. Something unmath related. Just I maybe played soccer or went to the beach, whatever. Yeah, I get them talking to each other. Sometimes you'll do everything you can, and then they're just like, yeah, no, I'm just not comfortable and not interested in talking to you. Sorry. So they're not going to tell you that maybe either, but maybe they'll tell their classmates. So group work, I'm sure everybody is already aware of the value of group work. Um, but it gives the student a way of talking to someone, right? Just talk to another student. They don't always have to talk to us. That's okay in my classroom. Um, Within the group, I just want to know what's going on. So what I'll do in group work is I'll go around to each group and I'll just sit with each group. I'll pull up a chair and I'll sit with them rather than kind of looming over them. I'll sit with them and just ask them how they're doing first, and then I'll eventually get to the math. Once we're done with group work, the goal is for them to go up to the boards and share their ideas with their students, with their classmates. That way the conversation isn't just from me to the student, it's student to student. It becomes more of a conversation that way. There's other just calling on people. I'll use this thing called Flippity. I hope you can see what I'm seeing here. Just to take the, like, oh, I picked on this person. I want to put some randomness in it. So Flippity allows you to put students' names into a spreadsheet, and then it populates it into these spin wheels, or you can do groups of 3 with these same names. You can shuffle the groups of 3. You might know all about Flippity. But this is just something I pull up and put on the screen. I click it, and I'll say, all right, Betty, what did you get for number 3 there? Something like this, right? It's kind of fun just to see who it lands on. Hopefully it's not Betty again, though. Let's see. Okay, Jane. Also, other kind of technologies. Jamboard is a Google product. It's in the Google Suite. You probably already know a bunch about it, but I have one of these open for every class meeting. And when they're in groups, if a student is more comfortable providing their thoughts digitally, I'm okay with that in my classroom. So they can comment on their group work here in the Jamboard without having to verbalize it. So they can type. I have one of these open and available. Of course, this means that students are having to be on their computers in class or on their phones. If they're doing work on their phones, I'm okay with it. I realize high schools are probably a different scenario. But yeah, Jamboard is good for trying to make different avenues open. What else? We have peer mentors. This will be the last thing. Peer mentors. So meaning we have like students who have taken that class already successfully. They come back into the class in a tutoring format. And what they'll do is kind of just coach the students up on how to be a good student of that class. And they'll also hold tutoring sessions outside of class. And from the tutor, I'll get interesting information from students that I maybe wouldn't have gotten in the class, right, from their peer. Okay. All right. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it hasn't been preachy or anything. I'm still in this learning process. So happy to hear any feedback or strategies you all have. Have a great rest of your year.